home alone. So you know what that means. Time for a rant, right? You don't know what that means. I'm all red because we have these red curtains in this red room, my boys' room. So it gets to be a red video. Red. It's kind of pertinent, poignant, because I'm feeling a lot of political energy. I'm applying for a job with the state of Oregon's judicial department, and I'm thinking about the Constitution and founding principles and the state of the nation, and how the ways that we're divided right now. I mean, you've been divided, you know, forever. When has there been a time when there's not been a left and a right? I don't know. I think about the reasons. I'm tempted to think about or to discuss my thoughts on the reasons for where those left and right tendencies come from in people. Religion's the easy one, but I don't think that's really as true as, I don't want to say selfishness versus selflessness. I've said that before, but that's a symptom. Or that's, what is that? Oh, just a shadow. It's tricky. Yeah, there's a squirrel out there. We have squirrels that are chatty. Very chatty. Anyway, it's hard to even begin to talk about because it's very complicated. It's very complicated, and that's, the problem. And I want to get to what I think the roots are of the problem, but I also want to just talk about what we should be doing, especially now. And this job has kind of helped me identify what I think about this. The Constitution and the founding principles of the nation, right or wrong in any of the ways, opinions and all that, it's a great place. I think we all can agree it's a great place to hold on to, a great place to treat as our source of truth, because that's what we need. We need something to anchor us in our feelings. And I guess if you have religion, you have those books, but I think we can also, even the religious can agree to respect the Constitution and the legislative branch and the judicial branch and the executive branch to some extent, which has lost some of its credibility. They are incredulous these days, right? I mean, I don't feel it's political to say that. It's not political. It's not a big leap like, oh, don't be political. The Trump administration is absolutely ridiculous. So we need that, I get that. I said the same thing, similar things back in the turn of the century with the Bush administration. But I didn't know as much then as I know now, and I know different things now. But this guy's so clearly a grifter. Bush was, maybe the criticisms I would have, if I were rethinking my criticisms, I would say maybe the privileged dynasty kind of stuff still exists, and that's a problem because it's not as honest. And the whole thing with that company, Blackwater, the company that got the contracts, that seemed like the people that were in it getting rich off stuff. Dick Cheney's corruption, that was a big problem for me back then. But it's nothing like what we have now. I mean, at least Dick Cheney's companies did go out there and serve, right? I mean, the companies when I was deployed, we had, I can't remember the name of the company that served us, our meals, but they were a subsidiary of this other company, Halliburton, I think. And so I was like mad that Dick Cheney owns Halliburton and they got the big contracts for the war, and that was maybe, an incentive to make a war, right? Because now you have money, which is corrupting. Now you have a reason. Now he has a reason to like, no, we should go to war so I can fucking get rich. And that's not just. And I'm thinking about justice right now because I'm applying for a job at the judicial system, and I'm just like in that mode. So here's a rant. And there's so much to say, and it's difficult to try to say anything on this subject because it's so complicated. And I think I've talked about this in my past videos. It trips me up every time because it's a very intense trip, obstacle, the complexity. And I think people don't even try to approach the complexities. They just try to like focus on an idea and just like argue. But how can you effectively argue without keeping some context of what's going on around the argument? In the case of the nation or even the planet, left versus right issues and government influence and corruption, and it's complicated, especially with the Trump and Epstein and all these extra things. It's like making it more complicated. And how do you keep all that in your mind when you're trying to make an argument? So just admit that it's complicated. Maybe instead of just arguing, every argument has to be researched, and who knows? I don't know what the solution is besides just being incredibly smart. Which, how do you do that if you have another life? Besides that, you only have so much brain. I'm thinking about 1,000 things every day. I'm a rural carrier for the USPS these days. And I'm thinking about all the addresses and all the boxes and how to fit the boxes in the right ways in the truck. I gotta organize my truck so that I can deliver effectively. And I'm thinking about the, which decisions I can make to make the day go by more effectively, because it's not as simple as just deliver everything. I've learned that. I'm a couple months in now. You don't just deliver everything. No, you have to make sure your delivery is your delivery decisions are effective, because there's too much. There's too much mail for our staff. We are understaffed. This is my one day off this week, and I got calls and begs to come in, and I wanted to, but my hands are sore. I need a physical break. My body's telling me, like, you should not be doing this every day. You need to have at least a day off. I got a little guilt trip from the text messages threads, but it's fine. I wish them well. I'll deliver the mail tomorrow, extra. I'll work hard tomorrow, 12-hour days. It's not that bad. It's just a lot. It's just too much. And the pay isn't quite good enough. They need to incentivize so they can hire people. I don't know what they have to do. Make cuts in other areas. Maybe get some money from the government. I know that USPS doesn't ask for any tax dollars, but it's a good service to the public, and I think it's coming from eyes on the ground, boots on the ground, I don't know. I've seen it. I've seen the issues now. West Side Station in Eugene, God love them. They're working very hard every day, and They grumble because people aren't being treated well. I mean, they're treated with respect, but in a system that's not treating them well because we're asking too much of our carriers. That's my opinion. And I think we should get some tax dollars. Just a few. Just take money out of Trump's golf thing. Pay the USPS. So we can get more people, would make the jobs easier, and people could, like, get days off and stuff. Besides just one per week. That's crazy. It has been crazy, which is kind of why I'm applying for this other job, which I would really love to get. I feel bad abandoning my team because they've put already they've put so much investment or reliance on me, the new guy. It seems like I'm way more important than I expected to be after a month or two. Couple months. I think it's been 2 months, maybe 3 months. I don't even know. It's been a blur working 60 hours for a 2 week. Anyways, 60 hours a week. Yeah, I've been doing some 60-hour weeks, which I did not ever do besides maybe in the Army a little bit. The Army was like always, I guess. Anyway, difficult. And then I got my life here with my family, which is demanding. And when I'm not here to show up for the energy of maintaining a home, my wife, she does great. But taking care of the kids and all the stuff, the dishes need to get done. I should probably start doing that instead of this video. Lots to do. I also have to fix a couple of problems with my other apps that I'm writing, that I've written. Anyway, complicated, this life. Your life is probably complicated also. Wish me luck on this job, man. It'll be great. I'll work hybrid. Some of it remote, some of it on site in Salem, Oregon, with the state judicial department, which I think is such something that I want to give my energy to right now. I think we need, now more than ever, to invest in integrity. We need to capture these people that are, the corruption is rampant, and we gotta start hammering the hammer down. My idioms are terrible. You've met nothing. I don't know the words. My brain is full of other stuff. And forgiveness, I've learned, is important. You guys, don't get down on yourselves. You're only human. You're not Superman, AI, whatever. You're gonna forget things. That doesn't mean you're stupid. Doesn't mean you're bad. It's just there's a lot. Life's hard. Life's a lot. You know a lot about a lot of things. If you forget a word for a little bit, don't worry. It doesn't reflect. If you were in the modes where if I was doing this more often, my mind would be sort of wired for oration. And I do some. I talk to my boys to sleep. You might have noticed yourself getting a little tired listening to this. If you even did, I don't imagine anyone is. But if you did, you might find yourself kind of sleepy. Yeah, I have that effect on people when I talk. So good night. Time for, there's a sleep podcast my wife listens to. Get Sleepy. You might know it. Get Sleepy podcast. She uses it. I fall asleep like right away. Pulls it on anyway. So, did I cover what I wanted to say? I wanted to talk about politics and the source of them. It's just life's complicated, so I can't really get to it. It's 14 minutes. You wanted me to start now? It's gonna be another hour. All right, fuck it. Real quick hour. I gotta do the dishes, but selfishness and selflessness, like I said, is not really as much the source, in my opinion, of left versus right. I think fascism has a lot to do with it. I think there's a lot of fear with communism, which I understand because it's not freedom. And freedom has shown itself to be valuable. America worked. Basing our nation on freedom worked. It also had major problems. And I think the liberals are trying to ease those problems that comes with freedom. Because you're also kind of free to cheat. And that brings problems. We just kind of need some regulations. Just a few. But the people making regulations are sometimes corrupt. And they make the regulations in favor of these other things. And that, makes people not trust the regulatory systems. I get it. It's complicated. But hang on to the principles. And I think that's what the main point of this video was meant to be, is like the principles. Read the Constitution again, just word for word. I haven't. I need to. Let's read it together. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing otherwise? Let's read the Constitution. I'm going to read it. You just listen to my sleepy voice. Constitution. All right. The United States Constitution. I'm on constitutioncenter.org /the-constitution. This site opens with, beginning with the words, "We the people." The U.S. Constitution is composed of the preamble, 7 articles, and 27 amendments. The first 10 amendments are known as the Bill of Rights. Read the full text. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. That says so much. Well written. Who are these people? Ben Franklin and such, and John Locke and John Hancock and all these guys. Where's the signature area? It's not on here. I kind of want to look at that. I love the story of people, the founding fathers, and mothers, I'm sure. Culture has taught us lately, we need to balance that shit. We need more balance. And we were getting it. We'll get back to it. But we need balance on treatment of gender, sex. What am I trying to say? Men and women and others. We need to be balanced there. Reasons I should not have to explain. Let me mansplain why we need to not mansplain. Article 1, Section 1, Congress. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. Nice. Good work. Section 2 is the House of Representatives, talking about what they do. I'm not going to go into all that. Section 3 is the Senate. Impeachments. Section 4 is elections, talking about exactly what our intentions are for electing people, which is probably very pertinent right now. Let me go ahead and read the elections, in fact, because we have an election coming up, and we have been talking about election fraud only for the past few elections. Section 4, elections. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof. But Congress may, at any time, by law, make or alter such regulations, except as to the places of choosing senators. Okay. That's the law of the land. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall, by law, appoint a different day. Okay. Right. Section 5, powers and duties of Congress. Section 6, rights and disabilities of members. 7, legislative process, how we pass bills. Section 8, powers of Congress, can borrow money, naturalization, post office. Okay. Provide and maintain a navy. Powers denied Congress. Okay. Section 10 is powers denied to the states. All right. Article 2 is the, I believe this is the, that's Article 1. Article 2, Section 1, the executive power shall be vested in a president. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and, together with the vice president, chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Each state shall appoint, in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct, a number of electors. The electoral college. Equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress. But no senator, representative, or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed an elector. Okay. No senator, representative, or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States. So you cannot hold an office of trust or profit if you're going to be an elector. All right. There's room there for probably some loopholes, though. Section 2 is about military. Section 3, State of the Union. Section 4, impeachment. Article 3, judicial. Supreme Courts. Section 2, more judicial stuff. Section 3 is about treason. Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given to each state, to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. Section 2, citizens shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. A person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime who shall flee from justice and be found in another state. Okay, so. Section 3, new states may be admitted to Congress. Section 4, the United States shall guarantee every state in the Union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. Article 5, the Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution. 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary. When that happens, you can amend the Constitution. Article 6, debt. Article 7, Ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states. All right, the First Amendment of the Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or the press. So no laws that can abridge the freedom of speech or the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So you can petition, you can assemble. Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Right? Third Amendment, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered. Oh, quartered meaning like hang out there without the consent of the owner. So the military can't take over your house. Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to secure their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by an oath or affirmation, and a particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons to be or things to be seized. Fifth Amendment, no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces. Okay. Sixth Amendment, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, and so on. Seventh Amendment, in suits at common law. Eighth Amendment, excessive bail shall not be required. Okay. Ninth Amendment, in the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. 10th Amendment, the powers not delegated by the United States by the Constitution or powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by the state, prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively. The powers are reserved to the states if they're not delegated to the United States. Okay. 11th Amendment, the judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law. 12th Amendment, electors. 13th Amendment, slavery. 14th Amendment, naturalized citizens. 15th Amendment, rights of citizens. I mean, the naturalized citizens probably is important to many right now. Yes, it is a lot. It's a lot for a video. All right. Cool. That's the Constitution. Here's the Declaration of Independence. Declaration of Independence. We are a nation, says those people on July 4th, 1776, in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's Independence Hall. Is Independence Hall still a place? Can we still go there? Visiting Independence Hall. See the room where the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution were both signed. What's it look like on the inside? That's Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Or Pennsylvania. Wait, where? Philadelphia. Yeah. The Liberty Bell. Where is Philadelphia exactly in Pennsylvania? I don't really know much about Philadelphia. Philadelphia. It's up there near New Jersey, Pennsylvania, on the eastern coast of Pennsylvania, coast, border. Southwest of New York. Northeast of DC. DC to Philadelphia to New York City. I've been to DC. Well, I've never been to Philadelphia or New York. It's cool. There's so many things to think and do and feel and see. 32 minutes almost of this video. What are you doing watching this? Silly. What am I doing? Tut's doing this. It's whatever. I'm gonna get to work. Thank you for listening. Peace. Wait. No, right. I want to propped it up on some garbage. Not garbage, just, messiness. I should clean my room. Okay, fine. Bye.